I'm just saying.
What are you doing? What do you mean if you can talk? So you're not going to rejoin the panel?
No, of course I'm going to rejoin.
How long has she been up for?
Not that long.
Like 5 minutes. Like, stop crying.
But yo, I'm not crying, but like there's a certain level of decorum that you need to adhere to on a podcast. It's not, there's not going to be a negotiation of, I will get to sit back down when I get to talk. Please join the panel. What? You literally said, I will rejoin the panel when I get to talk. That's not how this goes. Will you that is, am I making this up? Is that exactly what she said?
That is what she said.
That's literally exactly verbatim what you said. I'm kindly asking if you will please rejoin the panel so we don't have people walking around in the background. Kindly, please. God, bro, this is a fucking childcare. Jesus Christ. Fucking daycare tonight.
Can we talk about decorum? Because you I think it's kind of rude to have people come that you're just meeting and they're your guests. You're hosting. And I didn't feel like you were as kind as you could have been before the podcast started.
How's your decorum when you meet people?
I mean, you didn't introduce yourself.
I'm busy doing other things. I'm not
busy
obliged.
to say hello?
Yes, too busy to say hello.
To say hello to your guests?
You could have said it from across the room while typing
hey guys,
on something else.
sorry, I'm super busy. How are you guys?
Yeah, no excuse or anything.
You walked in, you ignored every single one of us.
Speaking of decorum coming from you, before the show, you said, I am here, come get me. Dude, I'm hungry, please respond or I will go get a Sam sandwich. And we said, be down in a moment. And then you said, it's not that hard to answer the door. I kind of feel disrespected and don't know how much longer I'm gonna wait. There's a lot of moving parts to this podcast. Madison, one of our helpers, she's out sick. Nick has some stuff going on too. There's a lot of moving parts. We had a ton of people flake today. Yeah, we weren't able to get to the door immediately to let you in. That's not being disrespectful.
That's common. That's common. I've been on the podcast multiple times, and they haven't always been able to start right on time. That's very common for a podcast like this. Was he supposed to roll out the red carpet and kiss your asses? Is that what you're saying?
Andrew,
I also don't talk to my guests before my podcast just because I don't want to have anything that we could have used on the thing.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? So Andrew,
for etiquette is all I'm saying.
Andrew, you have your own podcast. Do you have guests on your podcast when you
all the time, yeah.
So whenever they come in, when they come into your space or studio, do you say hello to them?
Nick, who is my agent.
I'm asking him. Can you chill?
Yeah.
No, but you're trying to attack. You're trying to. No, you're trying. Stop interrupting. You're trying to.
You interrupted me.
Yes.
I'm asking
once
Andrew
again,
a question.
once again, I am the host. I have as the host of the podcast.
Andrew, can you answer the question when you have a moment? Do you say hello to your guests when they come on? And be totally honest.
Okay, so I'll tell you the distinction.
It's coming soon, boys.
If I were Brian, I would have already kicked off half of you. That's how good he is and how bad I am at my job. I would have already kicked most of you off.
But do you say hello to your guests when they come on?
I'll tell you this much.
I'm asking
Andrew. My understanding is Andrew doesn't have an in-person podcast.
No, that's correct. I don't have in-person.
Also,
I do video podcasting.
Nick there. I have an agent. Nick is my agent. He greets you on my behalf. I am busy.
On your behalf.
Well, and also...
Bro, yo. I don't need... Hold on. Check yourself. I don't need the fucking attitude. It's been all fucking night with you.
Oh,
relax. No, you've come in with a very nasty attitude.
You have been like this from
I haven't.
The very moment.
No, I haven't. You've been very fucking nasty.
No, I
yes,
really
you have
not.
Yes, you have.
No, I think you're just hypersensitive.
What does 304 mean?
It's coming, boys. It's coming. Okay.
I just personally think I understand where you're coming from because you run a podcast and you're trying to because we got here an hour before the live stream started, right?
Correct.
So you're trying to figure out what's going to happen, what your points are and all this stuff. So you don't really have time to say hi to people. And how you're saying, he is very oh, hi. I didn't feel disrespected at all.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He gave me tortilla chips, so that guy's
the tortilla chips.
We have complimentary food. We have drinks. We provide you guys with waters.
It's fine. It's not to be debated. It's fine.
I don't know why we're getting into the meta of my conduct before the podcast. I don't think it's rude for me to be heavily. Bear in mind, we had a ton of flakes tonight. I don't want to get into that. People are running late.
was.
I'm trying to operate a smooth show.
Okay.
And when people cancel, people are
And this is
late.
your job, right?
You're wicked. Look at how she's smiling right now. This chick's wicked.
Well, this is your job, though, right?
This is my
he's
job.
captain.
So
So
he's just trying to
yeah.
captain the ship. That's all.
Yeah.
Also, I keep in mind when it came to, if you were to go to a certain Miami podcast, you would have been kicked off already. And the main host, he doesn't talk. You don't even see him until the moment the show starts.
True.
He's in another. Have you been on FNF?
No, I know how like things work.
No, the main host. He doesn't talk to anybody before the show. I talked to some of you. Been on FNF?
No, I haven't, but I have a lot of people that I know have. I think, like, I came in here, I didn't expect to have the conversation prior. I've worked on a lot of fucking podcasts and streams. At the end of the day, we're working together. It's not like, hey, besties, hey, friends,
Yeah.
like any of that shit.
Yeah, I ain't your friend.
That's a little crooked because you and I, we had spoken before. Hold on. You and I, we spoke outside. We were like totally bonded, and when we got in here, you and I sat on the couch together, and we both had knowledge like, oh, he has kind of a weird energy. Didn't even say any of us. So now you're like,
I'm not pitter pattering. All I'm saying is, yeah, like he had 2 other people greet us. That's nice. They must be your assistants of some sort. I'm not saying that it's necessarily rude. I'm just saying.
but you did say it was
Oh my
rude on the
God,
couch.
this is
say
the
it was
most
rude.
meta
And then
conversation.
even
That's
putting
like
that
totally
into
I'm
unrelated.
good. Well, let's change it. Host.
All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, in his perspective and the way that he's
I'll get
presenting
to it.
himself, I'm stating it is understandably so that he wouldn't interact with us because at the end of the day, we're not friends. We're
Right.
just meeting each other. We're literally
we're
coming
colleagues
on
on
this
his
very moment and
podcast.
having a conversation online.
Absolutely.
It's
Hey,
nothing
guys.
personal.
Hey guys.
I didn't mean like roll out the red carpet as you said. Like you took what I said, which is I didn't get a hi, and you conflated.
I'm not
it
obliged. This is
into-
how women view things. I'm not obliged to come and say hi to you. Why didn't I could just flip this on you? Why didn't any
you
of
say hi?
you
Because you're
say
the
hi
host.
to me?
I did say hello when
And
I
you're
actually walked
busy.
in.
That's very true.
No, you
You do
didn't.
know that he's
Yes, I did.
busy.
Yeah, he was in A game mode.
I'm
Like
just-
he was.
he was-
Yes.
I did say
Did
hello.
you guys? Did you
I
not
did.
see how hectic it was before and like getting everything
Right.
set up?
The
yes.
moment I
I'm pretty
walked
sure
in,
I
Sorry,
said something to
sorry
you.
that I did not engage you in a 5-minute bullshit fucking
I don't
conversation.
want that.
for that.
I don't.
Before the
I
show.
don't want to talk to you for 5 minutes. I walked in. I said, "Hey." I was
To who?
You.
I was sitting over here. What are you talking
And I
about?
walked in. I go, "Hey!" Like I was so
To
excited.
who did you say hi to? I was over here. I'm
Lit-
not even visible.
To the. I was. I went to the
bro.
kitchen island.
I'll get to it, guys. Okay.
I said hi. I was very excited to come here. I still am very excited to come here, and I am extremely thankful. Really, genuinely. I like what you do. I really do. I think you're controversial. You get people's blood boiling. And I'm addicted to a lot of your content. I think you're extremely
And I
talented
think you're
at what you
obnoxious.
do.
Thank you for the endorsement, though. I'll put that on my.
1000%.
I'll put that on my
Your resume.
resume. Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay, so, my God, bro. They're
How did it
fucking.
get to that?
Imagine being married to this woman. The nagging. I'm not even dating this woman. I'm not your boyfriend. You're not going to come on my podcast and nag me about, oh, you were not acting in a way that I wanted you to act, and you didn't greet me in the precise way that I would have liked to have been greeted.
I didn't even say any of that.
I'm sure you drive. I would imagine you drive your boyfriends crazy. Do you, like, you're nagging me? I'm not even your dude. Like, imagine the dude that you date. Holy fuck, bro.
Brian, yeah, listen, you're such a control freak. Why couldn't you just let her get a sandwich, Brian? Why couldn't you just let her get a sandwich? You
Oh,
didn't
that
need
was
to
her.
put your ass in the
That was a
studio.
different
It's
girl.
ridiculous.
That was her.
No, she went and got a sandwich.
Drew.
She came up with the sandwich.
Andrew.
Also, I don't want to pick on anybody, but you did say, I've never even heard of this podcast, and if I don't like it, I'll leave. That was your words. And you
I
guys,
did hear that.
And you guys
I did hear
asked
that.
me the questions like, I work here. I was like, I don't fucking work here. I know I'm 80, but I don't work here. It's all right. But just if we're going to all talk about this, which I'm surprised we're talking
Well,
about.
I respect you
It's
enough
okay.
to not do that now that I know you.
Do what?
Leave.
Okay, good.
King
You know.
donated $200. This is the problem with modern women. They lack humility, emotional control, and proper manners in a public setting.
But they're hot.
It basically turned into a whataboutism. Like I was like, yo, you're standing back there and I will rejoin the table when I have an opportunity to speak. That was my criticism. Then you felt the need to like, okay, let's address this alleged or imagined or supposed grievance before the show.
I didn't
of
bring
you
it up.
not.
Though. I didn't bring it
I
up.
think it's an imagined grievance, but it's true that I did not
Definitely not imagined, because I spoke to multiple girls on the show, and they all said the same thing.
Multiple girls.
The last time.
These show? What do you mean, like from this show?
Yes. No, not you.
Okay, which
Next to
girl
me.
objected to me not saying hi to you? Because she arrived at 5 p.m. She was late. There's Mia here. There's her.
Mia and I were outside.
Okay.
And all that I stated inside when I entered the studio was I immediately went to the restroom. You immediately went in here if we're going to say he said, she said, what she did, all that stuff. I actually went to the restroom before I could even see if anybody greeted one another. And I think you three were actually in here. And I was like, okay, I come out of the restroom. You say, oh, he hasn't greeted anybody. I say, has anything been done? I say, that's odd. That's all I said. Doesn't mean that I'm saying, oh, he's a terrible fucking man. Any of that shit. Not that you're saying that, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't go about that.
When you go to a TV show or a podcast or even your friend's house or a house party or anything, you're just kind of assessing the social situation. That's all it is. And everything can be different. And then you also sometimes think to yourself, well, maybe this is normal for this. Like, it's crazy we're even debating this. I had some chips, talked to those fucking clowns over there. They were nice guys. And obviously, he's in work mode, so I'm going, hey, let Brian cook. I've seen what he does on the show, so I'll get to meet him on the show. And I will say, it is a podcast standard, maybe not yours and maybe not whatever. If I have 3 podcasts, and the etiquette on ours is, if I start talking to her before the show, she'll be like, oh, and I went to this movie with this guy, and he's fucking, and then I go, and then you watch the same podcast, because when you try to recreate that moment organically, it feels all bullshit. I'm like, damn it, we should have had that on the pod. And I'm a talker, so I don't shut up, and I'm not as motivated or as successful as him because I don't get shit done before the podcast.
Well, you're also missing a key element, which is that you're not a spoiled brat. So that's also.
I was about to get mad. What do you mean I'm missing a key element, Andrew?
No. I didn't. I don't want I don't want preemptive conversation, because I'm totally agree. I think that if you were to have a conversation, if you were to have seen me and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Where'd you come from? What did it would have probably progressed into something. I don't want to have a conversation.
What the podcast
That's
is
what
for.
the podcast is for. Why would I want to have a conversation? Hello would do.
Yeah, he was just busy.
He's just
I drove like 15
busy.
hours to be here, and I haven't not once said anything. And like
15?
some people got up, and because they weren't getting any attention or I haven't spoken at all. And I'm
really
not
haven't.
once like
You haven't.
I haven't once spoke. Like I haven't gotten up.
Specific amount of energy.
But you're hot.
Beautiful.
Keep going back to that.
I think my I'll just say this is when I had spoken up, you had looked at me and go, you've done enough talking. So I went, okay, so like
Did I say that?
I don't remember
I don't think I said that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'll take thanks for never happened for 200, Alex.
But it did.
Listen, there's a lot of conversation going on. I don't think I said that.
I don't remember that.
No,
I don't think I said that.
You were like, okay, the attention will come back to you, like someone's gonna happen.
You felt like you were throwing a
whatever.
fit.
And then I stayed quiet. So that's what I'm saying is, like, whenever I feel like I organically can come into the conversation, I would love to enter back in. I don't know where I'm welcome to speak without being told I can't. Speak.
Gentlemen who are watching, the solipsism. You don't need to fucking mock me. What's your deal? Like, if I'm speaking, you don't need to repeat the words in which I just said in a mocking, condescending way.
I also say that it's peak female entitlement that we've spent 30 minutes arguing about. You didn't say hi to me, Brian.
I agree, Andrew. I don't want to talk about
that?
The solipsism is on what I was going to say. This is solipsism on display. It's all me. I'm the center of the universe. So, okay. I have a question for you, though, to give you a little bit of attention, and I'll ask all the other girls here at the table. You're a feminist. Let's see.
Are you asking me? I'm sorry. I don't know who you're asking.
Yes, I'm talking to you. You consider yourself a feminist. Do you consider yourself liberal in your politics?
Not at all.
Okay.
Definitely more conservative leaning, for sure.
Okay.
I think technically be libertarian.
Would you prefer the world without men?
Never.
Do you think that you can be racist against white people?
Yes.
Do you think you can be sexist against men?
Yes.
You were charged, were you prosecuted?
Prosecuted, no. And most of the time, offenses against cops aren't. They're usually dropped immediately because they're actually extremely common, and judges don't give a fuck, especially if you're white and a woman.
I'm actually, Andrew, I don't know if you want to weigh on this. I'm actually starting to believe that she's a troll.
Maybe.
Like, I'm actually...
Yeah, so listen.
Andrew,
I mean, at this point, I think you got to go with your gut, bro.
No, Andrew,
I think you got to go with your gut here. I mean, at some point, we got to get some sanity back
she's trolling.
on this. Can we all just make a nice agreement right now that going forward, we're all going to be as good faith as we can in this conversation? We already had this massive meta conversation about the conversation. Then we had a conversation about that conversation. Can we just try to all be adults and try to kind of move forward here without, being trolls and being assholes?
I do want to point out, so who drove here from Los Angeles? Where did you come from?
El Paso, Texas.
You flew here, right?
I drove.
So if you're here to troll, and we mentioned this before the show.
Would never.
She's
serious right now?
No.
For real?
Like, if you're
Andrew?
Come on.
Stop. If you're here to troll, like, if you object to the whatever podcast, you don't like it, that's totally fine. But bear in mind, this isn't a one-on-one interview. If you're like coming on to troll, whatever. But people spent time and money to be here. Like, if you're fucking with me, fine.
I came from Boston. I would never troll for this.
That's kind of irrelevant. But the way you're conducting yourself is now leading me to believe. I thought initially you're just bad faith, but now I actually think you're trolling.
No.
If you don't like the Whatever podcast,
I
totally
love the
cool.
Whatever podcast.
But to be respectful to the other guests who have spent time and money to be here, she flew here, she spent money to be here.
I can guarantee I spent more.
Please, I'm at like.
She drove.
Huh?
I can guarantee I spent more.
You drove from. It's
Why
not
does
a
it matter if
competition.
you spent more?
No, I know. You just said you spent a lot of money. I said I'm spending a lot of more. I would never come on a podcast to troll.
You
Spending
strike me
thousands
as
of
manic.
dollars.
I like, are you manic?
Never. No. But you asked me about my arrest story. Do you want to hear about it or not? I'll tell you completely.
So
exactly
you
what
actually punched 2 police officers in the face.
Just
moving off from the violence thing to her claim that all men are P words.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your proof?
This entire fucking conversation. You guys are
great. So you have no proof?
You're the only one who brought up 15-year-olds.
No, and none of you would answer it.
We did.
We all said no.
What's your hang on?
Yeah,
quickly.
you're lying.
It's loading, guys.
Would you?
What's your proof?
No.
Okay, you're
Can
lying.
you tell me? Hang on, just real
what?
quick. Just let me finish the exchange, please. What's your evidence for this?
I'm saying that if I presented you a scenario, that if you had the full ability with
It's not
no
evidence.
one knowing,
It's a question.
sure.
Yeah.
But I know for a
So the
fact
question's not an argument.
vast
She knows
majority
for a
of
fact.
men,
But
I
she
do.
just
The
said that she
vast
also
majority
wouldn't
of
do
men.
it.
The vast majority, because it's different. Men and women are different.
So
I'm so
bad
sorry to
faith.
tell you, girl.
Right. And it'd
So
be like if I
bad
just said to you, like, you don't know what it's like to be a man.
You don't.
Right.
Well, hang on, all of you guys. Just let me finish the exchange with her. It'll only take a second. What's the argument for the proofs that you can provide that all men are P words?
Because men are pedophiles.
You just
this
that's a
entire
restatement. That's just a
This
restatement
entire
of the position.
Andrew, this entire conversation, have you guys been focusing on fertility and women being innocent and malleable without a history?
Why
okay?
is that? and
Just
what does
call
that have to do
yourself,
at all?
say that you want to
Hang on,
have a fresh
hang on.
meat
What does
pussy.
that have
Just
to do with
say
anything?
it. Just say it. You like young girls. All of you like little girls. Andrew, yes you do.
No. Listen to you. You say that you all like young girls and little girls. So let me ask the question back to you. Why is it that in the public school system, so many women are having sex with underage boys?
Not like men are women
No,
and
it's
having
way
and
worse,
molesting and
way
molesting
worse.
girls.
It's an epidemic of
I don't know if I
almost
can say that,
biblical
sorry.
proportions. Why is that happening? Is that because all women are P words?
Repeat the question.
Why is there such an epidemic, an overwhelming epidemic of women inside of the school system having sex with underage boys, sometimes as young as 13 12 years old in order to get their rocks off. Why is it when they're in a position of power and authority over young men, they essay them constantly? What is that because all of them are P words?
That's a really great question because I'm always also wondering that with men and young girls.
It's
constantly.
power of authority, exactly is what you're saying.
So my question is again,
Okay.
is it because all women are P words or isn't it?
It's because if you're in a power of authority, if you have a place of authority, you're going to do it. That's what you're saying. Women do it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you to answer my question. Don't reframe my argument. Just answer to the argument.
What's your question?
He's asking her a question, I'm pretty sure,
Say it
right?
again. I'm like,
what is the
Just
reason?
answer to the argument. Is the reason that so much essay happens in schools from female teachers to young boys because all women are P words?
no, but men are.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna answer.
Right, so what's your evidence then? I just gave you a huge swath
let
of
him finish,
evidence.
let him
Because
For women,
it is in
what's your
men.
evidence for
It is
men?
in men DNA to want to conquer and dominate. And what is easy to conquer and dominate? Young girls.
Okay, so
What
what's
the
Erroneous.
Can I answer?
Not
what is
wrong.
your evidence for any of this?
Literally every crime committed with a man raping, molesting a girl. Literally the women that are sitting
There's
at
that
this table
radical
with
feminism she was talking
Yeah,
about.
where's the actual evidence for what you're saying is true?
Of what? Men molesting.
She thinks
young
all
girls?
men are pedophiles.
No, that all men are P words because some men do horrible
doesn't.
things. What's the
She
evidence
literally-
all men
what?
are P
Totally.
words? What is it?
She
Make a
literally-
quick point,
She
please.
literally was the one to tell us that there are more women who are now teaching because of certain gender roles. I believe that was actually you. So
Oh my
that
God.
is
What
why
is
there's
it?
Please make your point
so
quick.
that is why there's a higher epidemic with women doing these things to young boys. That is why. But you're not even able to repeat that statement, so you are literally making no fucking sense. If you use your own fucking knowledge and your own reasoning, then you would make sense, and this would no longer be a fucking argument.
I don't know what you.
I
were
still don't understand what the argument was.
Let me ask a
either.
couple,
I don't know
let me
what the
ask a
argument
couple,
was
hold on.
either.
Let me
I'm
ask a
confused.
couple clarifying questions.
Yeah.
So, is it genuinely your position that you think that all men are pedophiles?
I think the vast majority, yes. Innately, yes. Biologically, yes. I think that if they were granted the opportunity to get away with having sex with a 15-year-old girl with no repercussions, they would do it. Yes.
What's the evidence for that?
Like, where'd you even come
You
up
don't.
with
You
this
have no
scenario?
evidence for this.
This entire conversation has been.
Yeah,
evidence.
so that's not an argument.
entire
That's an argument from
conversation- what?
incredulity. It's fallacious. What's the evidence that I can look at right now that proves your point?
What do you even talk? Look at.
I'm talking about evidence.
Well, hold on.
Do you have any or not?
Yeah. So let's talk about Scenes Island. Perfect example right there.
So if that's some
as
men
much
do
as you
such
want.
bad
That's
things,
an
therefore
That is
all men do all
men.
bad things.
That is a bunch
is-
of elite men. You don't see women going over the little boys. It's a bunch of men.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Can you ever sit
Example
down?
after
No,
example
you
of
don't.
how
Can you ever
that
sit
occurs.
down?
It's a bunch
please.
of men going to fucking Lolita's Island or going on Lolita Express, going to St. James, and it's men
Who
fucking young
recruited
girls.
for Epstein? Was it a woman who recruited for Epstein?
Yes.
They worked in tandem. Her father
Yeah,
was
so
the
why
her
would a
father.
woman- why
her
would a woman
father
be helping him do
her
that?
father.
She
If
was
you
also
actually
a
knew
P-word,
about
right?
them, you would know that her father was a Fed, and he's the one who created the whole thing. Jeffrey got involved with it later.
Okay.
Okay, so on the
Bad
Ghislaine
people
Maxwell, can you answer to why it was that Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting for this P-word island if she wasn't a party to it as well?
They're both working in tandem.
Right, so this is not evidence.
But who's
that all men are
fucking?
P-words.
Who
This
is
absurd,
fucking?
And you're an idiot.
Who is fucking? Who's doing the thing? It's
Well,
not the
I would
women.
say that the women inside the public
It's not
school
the
system tend to do
women,
a
Andrew.
whole lot
It's
of
not
that.
the
Wouldn't you
women.
agree?
It's not the women. It's not the women
Well,
coming
then
to
why
St.
is there
James.
so many teachers
Women
getting
are
arrested
not.
for,
Answer
you
the
know,
question.
essaying
Why
little
is there
boys?
so many men flying to St. James Island? Why isn't it women going to fuck
Those
little
men
boys?
suck. But they're not all
those,
men.
All
They're
those
not
women
normal.
who were recruited by another woman?
Blah blah. God, you're not even answering the question. You're like
Yeah. I
harping
did.
on one very specific thing.
You brought up the specific thing.
Yeah, and you keep talking about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, but that's
Who
because
is
she was
the
the
kids?
recruitment agent for the P-word.
Who is
meaning she
having
was also a
children?
P-word. She
It's
participated
not
in
women.
this.
It's
so
not
this is
women.
not evidence that all
Women
men
aren't
are
driving
P-words.
to St. James.
It's ridiculous.
It's not happening.
So your position is you think the majority of men are P-words?
Yeah.
Said all, but yeah.
Biologically,
And
innately, yes.
From what I could tell, you think me and Jeff are also P-words? Is that what you're... That's basically what you said.
There are outliers, and I hope you are one of them.
But you just said if there's some
Andrew,
crazy
do you have
situation.
like a smoking gun on this? Because
This is very simple. I've already given the smoking gun. I see more SA coming out of the public school system between females who have a power differential between young boys. They bust them at massive, monstrous rates. It's incredible. 2, you've offered no counter evidence.
I have. I
that
literally
men,
just stated
that the majority. Hang on. Let me finish. You have not offered a single shred of evidence that the majority of men in society are P words. Can you offer that evidence without restating the position and saying "cause of this conversation"? Give me the evidence.
Yeah, I just told you St. James Island, Hollywood. Hello.
That's not evidence that
Yes,
most men are
it
P
is.
words.
How is that? There is nothing of a better evidence
bro.
than St. James Island.
Because
I
the thing
don't
happens
fucking
doesn't
get
make it an argument.
Evidence that most
How
men
is that
are
not
P words
evidence?
because
Tell me how
some
that's
men
not
do bad
fucking
things.
evidence.
How does that mean most men do bad things?
Yo. So you were trying to make the point, which incredibly bad faith, like trying to ask us a question to try to, because like super bad faith. You've been bad faith this entire show. I think you're intentionally trolling now. You like chilled out for a little bit, but now you're back to fucking troll. I don't even think it's trolling. I just actually think you're a misandrist and you hate men, frankly, because holding the position that most or all men are is an incredibly sexist statement to make. It's incredibly misandrist. You're pathologizing. First off, you're attempting to pathologize men who have a preference for younger women. Keyword women.
Fresh meat, malleable, young pussy.
All right, get off the show. Get the fuck off the show. Leave.
This is Sparta!
Get off the show.
Thank God.
Out you go.
So much.
Out you go.
Thank God.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Bro.
Also, one of the comments said that because we like fertility cute, this argument was small. Yeah, I meant smaller than me. I don't want a gal that's 6'4" is what I was suggesting in Tana Bay. I think it's kind of cute when a woman's not 6'4", 220. And thank you for doing that. She was terrible.
Here.
Wow.
She was too much.
Wait, Mia, do you want to just sit over there in her seat? You might want to wipe it. You may want to wipe it down with some sort of
seriously.
antiseptic wipe.
Can you sage that chair?
Yeah, I'm like.
No, I really want to stage myself.
Yeah, switch the cushion.
Very unusual.
Jesus Christ.
I want to know.
I was just like boiling. And I was like, girl.
Instantly, it's just the whole room is just like.
I'm just gonna say, like, I think it's really interesting that she was putting so many words into everybody else's mouths. I don't think it was fair or reasonable at all. The way that she was behaving and putting everybody else down and trying to paint a picture that wasn't even existent. Had you said anything about dating XYZ, or had any of us said anything at all, then that was a reason to attack us and to go forward on that. But she did just completely attack just for no reason.
It would also be great if she was a little consistent. But just to be all over, like you can't even say that she doubled down on like what she thought. It was just like all over the place. Like at one point saying leave the 19-year-old and she's only 19, and then the next point be like she's 19, she's a fucker. You're like, what's going on here?
She was when I wasn't in the room, I couldn't hear everything that was happening. But like someone commented too. They were like, she's infantilizing her, and then in the same breath doing the opposite.
Right. What had happened was like you walked out, she chased after you, trying to be a nice guy, whatever it may be. And I said it. She's 19. I didn't say it to put you down by any means.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The situation that happened when she was crying.
When she cried.
Crazy.
And I only said it because I thought it was such a rhetorical thing. To chase after you, try to treat you nicely, and say that we're using that to our advantages and putting you down because you're younger, which we were not doing. And even at that, it was just like, we're repeatedly saying she's 19, which was obviously her issue. She had an issue that your age was 19, which is not fair. And it's just
the
she was
only
just so
one who ever
inconsistent
brought
with
it
everything.
up.
It's, you know what's crazy to me though is when men are basically not allowed to have any preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to what they want in a partner. If a girl wants an older guy, that's a preference. Guy wants younger, creepy, immature. Maybe even if you want a younger woman, even if you want to date a younger adult woman, they want to call you a P word,
which is crazy.
Girl doesn't want a short guy, preference. Guy doesn't want a overweight girl, shallow, asshole. Girl wants a dominant guy, preference. Guy wants a submissive woman, misogyny. Girl sets a boundary, empowering. Guy sets a boundary, controlling. Yeah. It's just like, but the degree that she took it to was like pathologizing. She basically called us. I don't know if she was talking about you, but she pretty much sat there and called.
She definitely did.
Called me
Yeah, she did.
a pedo.
She said, and then she said we're lying because we were like, no, we wouldn't do that. And she's like, you're lying. You both would.
But
You
even
all
though
would."
she also said that she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like-
then she said you can hit women. She was all over the map.
that was
She was all over the
girl.
map. She was a psycho.
But what was weird was she started off with that energy, and I checked her, and then she kind of got in check. And then, like, I don't know if the meds were wearing off or whatever, but it started amping up again at the end there. So, like, what the fuck?
I think what was interesting was just like seeing how she immediately was like, fuck Andrew, I love you, Andrew. And then immediately, like,